Hello, today we'll be playing By Your Hands. This is the second bill to come out. It came out on the 3rd of February. So at the end of the last video, which was the first build of the game, we saw Tucker's head on top of a pole on the college campus. So this new build is going to cover the aftermath of it, and we're also going to discuss who may have done it and the possible reasons for why they did it. So, here's what happened. I looked down to the tabletop in front of me. Tiny scratches visible on the smooth surface. On the top, up to the clock of the wall, ticking away steadily. The sound almost matched the pounding my temples. Over to the uniformed officer sitting across from me. When I noticed his eyes boring into me, I ducked my head back down to avoid that probing gaze. Deep breath in, heavy sigh out. Blow away all the tension and anxiety. I don't know. I got to the campus around another glance up at the clock. 2 hours ago, and Tucker's he was up on the top of the pole, and quite the sound shuffling notebook pages. When I saw you interrupting Mr. Thompson, Mr. Leavenworth, and Mr. Cloester yesterday morning. Is that true? Yes, sir. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I swear, still not daring to lift my gaze. We talked a bit. One of my friends came over to show me around the campus, and then I went to class. That's pretty much it. Another grunt. The sound of a pen scratched on paper. Had that been the wrong thing to say? And you were at the university yesterday evening, were you? No, sir. I hung out on campus as the classes ended, then went to the Museum of Natural History for a bit around Forest, then got a ride home afterwards. And what were you doing there? Just looking around. I see. You said you got a ride home from the museum. From who? A friend? Alright. And about what time do your friend get you home? I don't know, like 6:30 maybe? More pen scratching. Is that significant? Maybe. We'll see. Were you with anyone else around, say 7:30 at night? Yes, sir. That's when my dad usually gets home from work. The words that Abraham had made me rehearse countless times when I was younger came out as easy as smooth as anything. I finally looked up, watched the officer flip through his notes for a long, silent moment. At last, he let out a heavy sigh of his own. Alright, I think we're pretty much done here. So can I go? Instead of answering, the boy shifted him in his seat so he could reach into his pocket, rifle around, finally drawing out a stack of business cards. Give me a call if you think of anything else that might help out the investigation. Respectful, obedient. I took a card when it was offered. Will do, sir. One more grunt, then the boy waved a hand in my direction, still staring down at his notebook. I knew dismissal when I saw one. So I stood up, took the officer's card into my pocket, and made my way out of the room. The hallway outside was pretty much deserted. The entire student center was only a few small groups huddling together in the main lounge area, so I had plenty of privacy to gather myself. Deep breath in, long heavy sigh out. Guess I couldn't deny anymore. This wasn't a bad dream or something. This was actually happening. Tucker was dead. The police, those animals in uniform, It cleared out the main courtyard soon after I arrived on campus. Everyone had either been herded to the student center or over to the dorms while Tucker's head had been taken down. Another commotion. I lost sight of Camille, Wyatt, and Lamb. Did my best to stick by Connor's side, but then the students had started being laid off to get interviewed with the officers. I had to just wait by myself until it was my turn. And so there I was, and Tucker was dead. According to the clock in the conference room I just left, it was almost 11 in the morning. If it was a normal day, I'd be a little over halfway through my Comp 1 class. If it was a normal day, all I have left on my schedule would be my lab hour for biology as a lunch, then jazz band in the afternoon. Maybe I could have hung out with Camille and Connor till then. Maybe I could have even gone to see Brennan in his office again afterward, see what him being my mentor would actually entail. But Tucker was dead. I shook my head, then kicked at the tile floor, felt a growl tickling my throat, but swallowed it down. Had to start thinking about it, find something to sweat myself, maybe. Had to get some fresh air. While passing through the lounge area, I noticed a small commotion going on. A bunch of students were all gathering about someone. The rabbit kept her head ducked and her eyes downcast as she tried to make her way through the small crowd. Couldn't hear what was being said to her, something about a party. Something about Tucker. This is when I started to turn towards them. The elk who was leading the rabbit by the shoulders snored and began shoving her way through. Back off. She doesn't know anything. The pair made their way towards one of the side exits out of the lounge area, leaving a wave of murmurs in their wake. Did you hear that? Yeah. Pretty fucked up how. But I got something to hurry together and I stepped a little closer, trying to hear better, and got a couple glances down my way before the crowd started dispersing. More murmuring, some sort lower whispers. Someone pointed out to the side towards a vulture sitting in a chair over in one corner of the lounge. You think? Know what they say about scavengers? Probably what happened to the rest of. An audible shudder, the sound of someone smacking someone else's shoulder, sniggering with sounded oddly forced. May as well. It didn't seem like anyone else there was willing to give me the time of day. I made my way over, clearing my throat when I reached the side of the chair he was sitting in. Must have been a really interesting book he was reading. I peered at the black leather cover, looking for any kind of title. No luck. Then I leaned over a little bit to try and read some of the pages. Couldn't understand whatever language that was, nor the weird angular diagrams. Can I help you? He finally looked up when I flinched away, giving me a flat stare. So I was just, Nope, I don't know. So why don't you tell me? A soft grunt, he snapped his book closed and sat up straighter. That flat, even-toned, scratchy voice of his honestly got my jaw tensioned up just a little bit, but I shook it off and looked away. Crazy situation, huh? Another grunt, a shrug of the vultures and soldiers. It's whatever. Did you see what had happened to him? How about what I got on campus? Pretty gruesome, yeah, but another shrug. What? That's something you want me to say? I mean, everyone else is pretty freaked out about it, so. He looked right at me, right in the eyes. Couldn't help feeling tension start gathering between my shoulder blades. People die. Some of them deserve it more than others. Excuse me? Excuse me for not saying tears over some apex piece of shit or other getting marked. After that statement, he slouched back into his chair and opened his book once more, skimming the pages, acting like I wasn't there. Pretty easily, actually. Oh, come off it. I mean, I know it's Tucker, but even he didn't deserve something like that. Oh, really? Did you even know Tucker, who he was? Wasn't really sure why I was even trying to defend him. Maybe it was the expressions on Camille and Wyatt's faces early in the morning, but still burned me in my mind's eye. Yeah, well, I know plenty of people who disagree with you. Let me guess, you think it had something to do with it? What? Well, a snort, the vulture glanced back up at me. His gaze was as sharp and pointed as the next statement. Hey, you know what they say about scavengers, right? Well, I tried to think up something to say in response to that. Vlad let out a quiet, croaking sound that almost sounded like a laugh. Sorry, but you got the wrong guy. I was doing some souls at freaks until 10:30 last night, so they really have the time or energy to go out kidnapping and murdering assholes. Though just so you know, if I had done it, there wouldn't have been anything of him left. Another snort. I stepped back to give the vulture space as he stood up and touched his book under one arm. If you'll excuse me, I gotta go find somewhere to finish reading my book in peace. See you around, maybe. Then tried to stop the vulture as he walked away, making his way out of the student center. Caught sight of a few students still whispering and pointing as he passed them by, and I a few glances that were being thrown my way too. Well, damn it. I made my own way out of the student center through the main doors. Didn't really have a destination in mind. Just let my feet carry me wherever. Down one of the sidewalks. Back to the main courtyard of the campus. There weren't any police officers milling around to keep everyone away from the scene of the crime anymore. But even so, it didn't seem like anyone wanted to linger in the area for too long. Couldn't really blame them. I kept my eyes locked on the paving stones, not wanting to glance up at the top of the flagpole, even by accident, even if Tucker had already been taken down. Stomach was whirling, gulped, swallowed, clenched jaw tight, felt prickling on the back of my neck. "'Cause I swear if you even try, I'm gonna punch you." Spoiled sport. When I turned to face him, the rooster still had the lingering trace of a playful smirk on his beak. Sorry, Lawson thought, and just couldn't resist. Yeah, well, I got used to you trying to come at me from behind. Guess I'll just have to try hard next time then. He laughed, brushed a few fingers over his crest, took a deep breath in, and then let out a heavy sigh. How'd it go? I sighed and then shrugged. Not much to say. Got asked a bunch of questions about where I was last night, what I was doing, that kind of stuff. Well, hey, you can check getting interrogated by the police off your bucket list, I guess. Again he laughed that time, though. I could hear how strained it was. Hey, Rex. Yeah? Follow me real quick. He picked up the pace and I followed suit. Kind of led me towards one of the older buildings, Banneker Hall, according to the sign next to the entryway. There was a tiny plaza right nearby with some stone benches, I guess for studying or resting. Come sit with me for a bit. He parked out onto one of the benches and I took a seat next to him, looking at him, trying to meet his gaze even as he kept his eyes downcast. Connor, there's a tremor in the rooster's voice, a tremor in his body as he leaned against my shoulder. One of his arms wrapped around me, pulling me in close. Just stay still for a minute, please. I did as he asked. How could I not? He was trembling and stuttering as he clung tight to me, just like he'd always do whenever we were playing around, but this felt different. He mumbled something, too quiet for me to catch, but when I asked him to repeat it, he just grunted inside. We stayed like that for one slow, deep breath in and then out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Soles pressed together, his head ducked, his eyes downcast. His hand clenched and then relaxed on my bicep again and again. I'd never seen him like that before. He was Connor, after all. White, goofy, troublemaking Connor, who never let anything get to him. Was he always the one cheering me up back when we were kids? Whenever I get overwhelmed by everything, was he always there to offer a smile or a joke or a soda to cry on? But we weren't kids anymore, were we? We were both adults now, and that meant I had to. Colin Soda's pressed to my chest as I pulled him closer. Are you feeling a little better? With a quiet sigh, he pulled away from me. The corners of his beak was still trembling ever so slightly, but otherwise the rooster looked like he was back to his usual self. So I guess with everything going on, Tucker and all, it just got to be too much for a second, you know? Yeah, I know what you mean. Been feeling pretty much the same way on and off all morning, honestly. We both sighed, lost our own thoughts. Some good day this turned out to be, huh? Kyle rubbed his face. I looked down to the pavement stones under my feet, clenching and unclenching my jaw. Yeah. Listen, I know this is probably the worst possible time, but there's something I want to talk with you about. Maybe it'll get our minds off of everything, the stresses, you know. I can't help but force out a faint laugh. Yeah, I guess I could use something like that. And last night my computer screen, the database. It's actually something I want to talk about with you too. Oh? He sat up a little straighter, looked right into my eyes, even leaned in towards me a little. Yeah? I looked at that code on the receipt yesterday. Oh. He relaxed back against the back of the bench, shoulders slouching as he looked away. So you got a look in the GND, huh? And what do you think? I could only shrug. Honestly, I don't know what to think. I made my own way out of the student center through the main doors. Didn't really have a destination in mind. Just let my feet carry me wherever. Down one of the sidewalks. Back to the main courtyard of the campus. There weren't any police officers milling around to keep everyone away from the scene of the crime anymore, but even so, it didn't seem like anyone wanted to linger in the area for too long. Couldn't really blame them. I kept my eyes locked on the paving stones, not wanting to glance up at the top of the flagpole, even by accident, even if Tucker had already been taken down. Stomach was swelling, gulped, swallowed, clenched jaw tight, felt prickling on the back of my neck. I swear if you even try, I'm gonna punch you. Spoiled sport. When I turned to face him, the rooster still had the lingering trace of a playful smirk on his beak. Sorry, Lawson thought, and just couldn't resist. Yeah, well, I got used to you trying to come at me from behind. Guess I'll just have to try hard next time then. He laughed, brushed a few fingers over his crest, took a deep breath in, and then let out a heavy sigh. How'd it go? I sighed and then shrugged. Not much to say. Got asked a bunch of questions about where I was last night, what I was doing, that kind of stuff. Well, hey, you can check getting interrogated by the police off your bucket list, I guess. Again he laughed that time, though. I could hear how strained it was. Hey, Rex. Yeah? Follow me real quick. He picked up the pace and I followed suit. Connor led me towards one of the older buildings, Banneker Hall, according to the sign next to the entryway. There was a tiny plaza right nearby with some stone benches, I guess for studying or resting. Come sit with me for a bit. He parked out on onto one of the benches, and I took a seat next to him, looking at him, trying to meet his gaze even as he kept his eyes downcast. Connor, just... There's a tremor in the rooster's voice, a tremor in his body as he leaned closer, as he leaned against my shoulder. Holding his arms wrapped around me, pulling me in close. Just stay still for a minute, please. I did as he asked. How could I not? He was trembling and stuttering as he clung tight to me, just like he'd always do whenever we were playing around. But this felt different. He mumbled something, too quiet for me to catch, but when I asked him to repeat it, he just grunted aside. We stayed like that for one slow, deep breath in and then out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Shoulders pressed together, his head ducked, his eyes downcast. His hand clenched and then relaxed on my bicep again and again. I'd never seen him like that before. He was Connor, after all. White, goofy, troublemaking Connor, who never let anything get to him. Was he always the one cheering me up back when we were kids? Whenever I get overwhelmed by everything, was he always there to offer a smile or a joke or a soda to cry on? But we weren't kids anymore, were we? We were both adults now, and that meant I had to. Connor's shoulders pressed to my chest as I pulled him closer. Are you feeling a little better? With a quiet sigh, he pulled away from me. The corners of his beak were still trembling ever so slightly, but otherwise the rooster looked like he was back to his usual self. So I guess with everything going on, Tucker and all, it just got to be too much for a second, you know? Yeah, I know what you mean. Been feeling pretty much the same way or an awful morning, honestly. We both sighed, lost our own thoughts. Some good day this turned out to be, huh? Connor rubbed his face and looked down to the pavement stones under my feet, clenching and unclenching my jaw. Yeah. Listen, I know this is probably the worst possible time, but there's something I want to talk with you about. Maybe it'll get our minds off of everything, the stresses, you know. I can't help but force out a faint laugh. Yeah, I guess I could use something like that. And last night my computer screen the database. It's actually something I want to talk about with you too. Oh? He sat up a little straighter, looked right into my eyes, even leaned in towards me a little. Yeah? I looked at that code on the receipt yesterday. Oh. He relaxed back against the back of the bench, shoulders slouching as he looked away. So you got a look in the GND, huh? And what do you think? I could only shrug. Honestly, I don't know what to think. Never really thought about where your meat comes from, huh? There wasn't any way for me to respond to that other than just silently shaking my head. But it's not really something you guys can change, I guess. That's why the whole thing got set up in the first place, right? No, Joshua. But it's good to know the truth, right? Better than just playing ignorant so you can pretend it isn't happening. More words of wisdom? I let a strange laugh on my own. Just some advice from someone who knows all too well how the world works. He didn't laugh along with me. Awkward silence took over the conversation. He looked out over the campus lawn before us. I kept my head down, shifting in my seat. At least we weren't talking or thinking about what had happened to Tucker anymore. Damn it. Even though my throat had grown tight, I grunted and cleared it to catch Connor's attention. So, what was your thing? Huh? Oh, he shrugged with a sardonic smile. Maybe this isn't such a good time after all. Oh, no, you don't. I forced a smirk onto my face, grabbing onto and jostling his shoulder to perk him back up. Come on, out with it. All right. Connor turned on the bench that faced me when his hand settled onto my shoulder, rubbing and squeezing, and I felt Heat started to roar and simmer into my gut. In my gut now. The way he was looking at me. It's about, well, you and me. I swallowed around the tightening in my throat while looking right back into his eyes, staying still, not even a twitch of my fingers. I've really been missing you these past few years, ever since my uncle left that job at the lab. It had been so sudden. One day he was there, the next day he wasn't. That Abraham hadn't even told me about it until I asked him where Connor was. But just thinking about it brought all the old sadness welling back up. I miss you too. I'm really glad you're here, that we get to hang out together again. I am too, more than anything else. The way he said that brought the heat in my stomach up to my cheeks. So listen, I've been thinking a lot about how things used to be where we could hang out all the time, but there for one and be there for one another and just be together. And I've been thinking about, well, you. Remember when you told me you were gay? No surge of heat, embarrassment. He was the one. He was the only one I'd ever told about my attraction to other males. Why wouldn't I? We were best friends. I trusted him. And I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about him plenty of times too. Right? You mean? Connor nodded through the feathers on his face. I could see him blushing as well. I like guys too. I like you, Rex. His hand slid up to my jawline, covering my face as he moved his own closer. I could feel his breath puffing on my lips. I could smell him rich and warm, familiar and comforting. Faint tinge of sharp, bitter, spicy, masculine pheromones making my throat rumble. I love you. I want to be with you. With everything that's going on, I don't want to lose you. Don't want to lose my chance to let you know how much I want you. Connor. He pushed his beard against my lips, rough and desperate, needing and wanted. I think the sharp edge may have nicked me a little bit, but I couldn't bring myself to care. Not when he was kissing me like that. Connor was kissing me. I closed my eyes, feeling the rumbling in my throat and my chest, feeling my shoulders and limbs relaxing, feeling him pressing close against me. And my hands moved under Connor's shoulders. He pulled back and away from me. What's wrong? I don't know. I really like you too, Connor, but it was subtle, but I knew him well enough to notice the way his brow furrowed and the corners of his beak pulled downward. It was disappointing, hurt. My arms wrapped around him, pulling him into a hug, like he always do for me when I needed to. With everything going on, I don't know. It's all a lot to take in. But I do like you, Connor. I want to keep being your friend and hanging out, catch up with you, and I couldn't stop myself from pressing my snout into the quickest neck, snuffling around for just a moment. He started pressing his beak against my temple and let out a quiet groan. I'm actually kind of glad you're gay, too. Really glad. If things weren't so screwed up right now, I think I'd really like for us to try out, being together. I knew this was a bad time. Deep breathe in, heavy sigh out. Today was pretty bad, yeah. But are you always saying tomorrow's gonna be a good one? I finally pulled back and away from him, let him go. He did the same. You wanna just see how things go from here on out? Take it one day at a time and see if things go that way for us? He nodded, rubbed at his face, chuckled, shook his head, and finally gave me a smile but shaky but sincere smile. Sure, that would work for me. Again, we just sat there in silence for a while, appreciating one another's company, breathing in and then out while looking out over the campus lawn before us. I cleared my throat and spoke up. One of his brows perked up upward and he looked over at me. What about him? I mean, shall we tell him if we do end up, getting together? I want him to feel left out. He chuckled and bumped his shoulder against mine. You hoping he'll want to join in or something? He explored across the bridge of my snout. No, I mean, that way ever happen, right? Although the thought was pretty tilting, truth be told. I cleared my throat and sat up a little straighter. It's just, he's our friend too, and I don't know, the thought of keeping something like that from him wouldn't sit right with me. Whether it was with Connor or a certain someone else. Connor shrugged his slouched shoulders, and I think it might be better to keep him in the dark on it, just in general. What, you think he'd have a problem with it? Him? I'm not sure. That frat boy clique of his. Well, I winced. Yeah, I see what you mean. But still, the tension which has been coming and going in the center of my back and my shoulders and my jaw all morning returning yet again. I want to go make sure Camille's alright, at least. Connor clacked his beak, snorted a puff of breath out from his nostrils and nodded. Sure, alright. I mean, he and Tucker were pretty close, and all this. It's probably hitting him hard. Yeah, but you know what he's like. Crocodiles don't cry for anything, and all that. Even that time, he scraped himself up real bad after a nasty fall off his bike. He walked all the way to that infirmary without a single tear. Even when Connor had to leave us behind, he put all his focus into cheering me up without even showing how much he missed our friend too. I think he appreciates some support, even if he won't ask for it. Probably too busy giving it to Wyatt to think about getting any himself. Yeah. On the other hand, do you think it would be a good idea to be around them right now? Do you think it wouldn't be? Right now in general. It's not as he crossed his arms. Besides, they're probably going through a lot of shit right now that their head asshole is around. Better to avoid the whole damn pile, don't you think? You and Camille? I just don't want you getting hurt if they get out of line. All the more reason for you to come along then, right? I leaned forward to look at his downcast face, one corner of his beak perked upwards. I guess I have been slacking into the keeping you out of trouble department. I seem to recall you always being the one getting me and Camille into trouble, as a matter of fact. Let's not get caught up in petty details. I like punching my shoulder, bump on my knee against his, and laughing both our throats and chests, sharing that same camaraderie we used to have. While Connor stood and stretched with a few huffed out grunts, I pulled out my phone to text Camille. Hey, where are you? Practiceville, why? Want to check in and see how you're doing? Want to check in and see how you're doing? Me and Connor will be over in a bit. Sam Wooster stepped away from me as I tucked my buzzing phone back into my pocket. The Practiceville, huh? Do you know where that is? Yeah, pretty sure I can find my way there from here. Alright, I guess let's go. With that, we're all together. Camille was easy enough to find. The practice field, like most of the rest of the campus, was pretty much deserted. It was just him, Leon, and Wyatt. The lion was sitting on the bleachers next to Camille. Both of them committed on their wolf companion. Ah! Wyatt was out on the field, charging forward to slam his shoulder into a large solid rectangle of padded foam. The way it slid, it was attached to very weighted, judging by the wolf's strength, grunting and huffing, stood at a good distance across the grass from the force. He pulled back and then charged again. Pulled back, then charged again, snarling all the while. Camille glanced our way as Connor and I followed the path towards the field. As soon as he caught sight of us, he jumped up and rushed over. Salam. He stopped in his tracks, face screwing up and to express a discomfort like he was suddenly suffering from a wicked migraine. Camille, are you okay? Concern made me forward. The concern made me step forward, lifting a hand to set it on his shoulder. Before I could, though, he shook himself and straightened up. Yeah, fine. Um, I'm fine. He looked for me to come back again. I appreciate you wanting to check in, but I glanced back towards Wyatt. I don't know. I don't think now's a good time. Don't worry, we just want to make sure everything's alright with you. We're not gonna cause any trouble. Mm. Connor had his arms crossed tight on his chest. He was looking towards the field, eyes darting from Leon to Wyatt and back again. How are you holding up? Camille let out a heavy sigh, brushed her hand through the fur atop his head. I don't know. I haven't even had time to think since this morning. Another glance at Wyatt's direction. Yep, that's what I had thought. I'm sorry. Well, everything. Yeah. But what about you? Guess you guys got caught up in being questioned by police too? Yeah, I think pretty much everyone on campus was. I caught Moore approaching from behind Camille. Liam. The lion must have spotted us and made his way over, tail flicking behind him. He looked me and Connor up and down while moving to stand next to Camille. Hello, hey. Hi. Camille took a step forward, a bit to stand between the rooster and the lion. Connor and Rex just wanted to come by and check how things are going. I see. He gave us another lingering, considering stare. Someone had to cut the tension in the air. I'm sorry for what happened to Tucker. He didn't deserve to have that done to him. A tightening of the space between my shoulder blades. A deep breath in and slow breath out. So yeah, I'm sorry. Lum stared at me for a moment, quiet moment. Lum stared at me for a long, quiet moment. Both Camille and Connor were looking at me too, the former biting his lip and the latter clacking his beak. Finally, the lion grunted and looked away. The sentiments appreciated. Now, if that's all you wanted to say, you might wonder why along. Wyatt is... He's working some stuff out right now. Yeah. Camille gave me and Connor a slightly strange smile. If you guys want, we could meet up and hang out later on. Since classes are canceled, we could make a day of it. Just got finished up here. Then have a meeting with the rest of the team. But after that, hey. When Camille and I flinched, Lam let out a bone-deep, weary sigh. Connor's expression sad as he leaned around Camille to glare towards the field. Wyatt had spotted us and was making his way over too. Ah, shit. Camille and Liam both turned and stepped into the wolf's path, a wider and much more strained rictus on the crocodile's face. Wyatt, be cool, man. Oh, I'm cool. Totally cool. He continued huffing and puffing, though it seemed to be more from his exertion than rage now. Still, the way his lips drew back from his teeth when he looked at me and Connor wasn't all that reassuring. You two know anything about what happened to Tucker? No, we don't. Are you lying? The way he was staring completely still and jaw tensed, always boring into me. That was the kind of challenge that any predator would recognize. The worst thing I could do at the moment would be to look away, to either show weakness or disrespect in the face of that challenge. No, I don't. I work to keep my tone firm and even, ignoring the tightness in my own jaw and shoulders. At last the wolf nodded, snorted, then looked away. All right. That finally drained all the tension out of him, along with whatever frantic energy had kept him animated. Wyatt hunted to himself, crossed his arms and tucking his ears against his skull. Wyatt, man, you need to stop. Just let the police handle it, okay? Another snort. Fuck that. I'm gonna find the bastard who did that to Tucker myself. And when I do, I'm gonna whip his hair off and stick it up on the fucking flagpole. See how he fucking likes it. He just shrugged his shoulders, but even that got them a little less thumped. For what I've heard, the police haven't been able to find anything, so I don't know how useful they'll be. All they know is that his head was probably cut off by some kind of specialized knife, since it was done so cleanly. And they haven't been able to find the rest of him, so the lion had his head dug in thought, one hand on his chin, and his brows furrowed. You know anything, Liam? Well, this has already been reported to police, so I guess there's no harm in telling. Last night around 7:30, the car he was riding home in from the party on campus disappeared. So far, neither it nor the drivers have been found. Damn it. Knew I shouldn't have let him leave. Damn it. He snarled again, but didn't have an outlet for his rage other than kicking at the ground. So what you're saying is there's a possibility whoever was driving him around got involved with something. Or maybe they were the ones who did it. Liam shrugged. I can't think of anyone who'd have that opportunity. Vlad's words from earlier in the day prickled at the back of my mind. If everyone I'd seen that day, he was the only one who looked completely nonchalant about Tucker's death. Happy about it, even. Sure, it didn't seem like he had the opportunity, but if you go by the gossip, there's a certain vulture who'd be the most likely suspect, given his interests. I couldn't help but blink at Liam's unknowing echo of my thoughts. That Vlad guy? I've heard some talk too. Camille kept quiet, but I could see the way he frowned at the mention of that name. Wyatt huffed and gave the ground another kick. It wasn't him. How can you be so sure? I just am, alright? Hey guys, can we just stop talking about this? Please. His eyes were darting from me to Connor to Liam to Wyatt, quick and panicked, the eyes of a trapped animal. Damn it, the point of coming over had been to make him feel better, not worse. I dumped my head, rubbing a hand against the back of it. Sorry. It's cool. His chest heaved with a few more deep, even calming breaths. I'm just gonna go. Gotta get away from him. He gestured with one hand, vague and full of frustration. Didn't even wait for any of us to answer before turning on his heel and stalking down the path from the practice field. The awkward silence which had fallen was broken by the buzzing and chiming of Connor's phone. He pulled it out of his pocket, swiped over the screen, and checked whatever message had come through. Almost as soon as he read it, Deuce's brow furrowed. Then he huffed out a breath through his nose before giving me and Camille Project grimace. That's Uncle Cooper. I actually have to run to take care of something real quick. It still only take a little bit. So do you want to meet up at the front gate after I'm done, Rex? I just want to get off campus. Oh, sure. You want to come with us, Camille? Don't think I can, sorry. He gestured towards the field. Gotta get this stuff cleaned up and put away. After that, I was gonna go meet with the football team. Now that he's gone, there's a lot of stuff we need to figure out. Okay, some other time then, I guess. Couldn't help letting out a sigh. Wasn't us all being in college together supposed to make hanging out easier? Connor waved a hand to grab my attention and then gave me a lazy salute. When I gave him a nod, Roos returned and wandered off, already typing on his phone. Camille, meanwhile, turned to start gathering up the equipment Wyatt had left behind, with Leon moving to help, as the line gave me a brief nod. I took down a slow, deep breath, blew it out in a long, heavy sigh, let all the tension, the anxiety, everything which had been rolling in my mind since that morning drained out of me. Then I turned and left the practice field. Perhaps a short walk on the campus would help to clear my mind. After I calmed down a bit, maybe I could... Whoa, hey there. I blinked, stopping in my tracks just before crashing to the shark who stepped over the block my way. What? Sorry about this, but we're still doing some work down this way. Might take a while before we're done. He reached down to tap a sign that had been set up in the middle of the sidewalk. Route closed, huh? Oh, alright then. I was just gonna go meet up with my friend, but, alrighty then. Thanks for your patience. We're really hoping to get this route done soon. Keep an eye out, okay? Will do. Thanks, I guess. Yep, no problem. He waved me off with one last smile. I gave him a wave in return, then turned around to head back the way I came. Couldn't help being a little disappointed, truth be told. Hopefully whatever work was going on would be finished up soon. Until then, maybe there was something else I could do to pass the time. Hello. I hope you guys all enjoyed this build of By Your Hands. I improved a lot of the systems and art from the previous build, so I hope you appreciate the hard work I put in this. There's a bunch of buttons that take you to different links related to the project. Please consider checking them all out. If you want access to the latest build, which furthers the story in Brenner's route, please consider becoming a patron so you can be granted access to it. That's everything. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'll see you next time. See you later. So that was the latest update of By Your Hands. So Brenner always has an update out on Patreon. So when he becomes public, I'll have a video out for him. And that will also continue the story By Your Hands. So hopefully in that update there will be some leads to the crime. Because so far the police have not had any luck in finding any leads towards the crime scene who possibly could have done that to Tucker. Sad to see that happened to Tucker, even though he's a jerk to everybody. He did do some good things, like towards Camille. Camille seemed to be very grateful of Tucker because he told Rex that Tucker helped him out with a lot of stuff. So I guess Tucker helped Camille out with getting to college and be on the football team. So he's really taking it pretty hard with his death. And about Rex, I believe he's trying to get to the bottom of the case, not so much because of Tucker himself, but because of Camille. Because Camille was friends with Tucker, so he's clearly doing it more out of concern for Camille than for Tucker. We're trying to find out who possibly could have done that to Tucker. So, all the sprites in this game got redone. That was a big part of this update. And that's all we have to say about this update. All the information for By Your Hands is in the description box below. You can support the game on Patreon. You also go to Twitter, the creator's Twitter, so you can keep being updated on the game's progress and when new builds come out. All that information is in the description box below. Thanks for watching. See you later.